it's paint and players. It's colorful and in your face. Paintballs. Paintball players, the best in the world, gathered in Orlando for the World Paintball Championships. We're set for Game 5 in the opening round. Let's go to Fred Schultz with the teams.
Todd, maybe you can give the folks out there a little idea of what you guys are going to do. You know, how you guys going to approach this game.
Well, we've been practicing for this ever since the World Cup. We did rather well last year in this event at Paintball World, and we're pretty pumped up for it. We're going to this field, though. Anything can happen. A lot of weird stuff's happened already. It's a very dangerous field. Not too many people have been too aggressive. We're going to try to change that, though. We're going to be a little bit more aggressive. That's our style of play. You know, we're going to go for bonus points. We're going to go for the win.
We're here right now with the team that's going to take Rage on, the Nobodies. How you guys doing?
Great.
You guys all pumped for this one?
Yeah. You bet.
First of all, how'd you come up with the name Nobodies, real quick?
We wanted to try to come up with something that would people would remember, and something that was a little different from what you normally see out there on the field.
Well, I think you've accomplished that. That's pretty cool. I love the uniforms, love them. Maybe you can give the people out there a little idea of how you guys are going to approach this game. Right.
Well, Rage is one of the top-ranked pro teams, and they tend to be very aggressive. So we're going to try to pick them off coming up at it.
We're underway. Nobody's in blue from Georgia, coming from the left, from the right. Florida's team, Rage, heading for the center line. And establishing position about 20 yards back from midfield is Rage.
Rage is a very aggressive team.
As we look at Ron Kilborn setting up about 20 yards back in midfield for Nobody's. You score in this game first by eliminating your opponents. 10 men to a side, you get 4 points for each opponent you eliminate. Then for pulling the opponent's flag, you get 10 more points, 50 for hanging it in your flag station. And for every minute under 20 that you get that done, you get another 10.
Richmond Italia of the Nobodies.
As we look at Nobody's front line. And there's the chrono judge checking Pete Bofill's marker for speed to make sure it's within the legal limits, Jerry.
It's to keep the game safe. The pellets can only travel 300 feet per second or less. Any faster, and the impact could be too great for safety reasons.
Defenseman Tom Sawatsky for Nobody's in the back. You notice the solid blue bunker there. That indicates he's in the back quarter of his area. Striped bunkers in the front, white and blue here. And on the opposite side, solid red in the back, white and red striped in the front. The midfield area, all white bunkers.
The Nobodies are set back in a solid defensive position. They did not take the kind of ground that Rage took. So they're sitting back. They are in a reactive position. Rage is well layered. They've got some people up front, good offensive capability, good angle.
Now 300 feet per second, a safe speed, Jerry, but still, when you get marked, it does sting.
It can, and it can raise a little well, too.
And that's why you wear the goggles for safety equipment to make sure, even at that not quite so terribly fast speed, it doesn't do any serious damage to you. When you're hit, you are eliminated, whether you feel it or not.
I don't know. Yeah.
Darren Beasley in a double bunker there for Nobody's. Notice the paintballs flying around and the official right on to see if he is hit. And Todd Adamson walking in the back of his defensive area.
Paulo Balsamo also way back in his defensive area.
No score so far in this match between Nobody's and Rage. As we wind toward the 5-minute marker. Right now, only the forwards may cross midfield legally. Once we pass 5 minutes, the 4 halfbacks may cross. At the 10-minute mark, everybody may go. Very seldom, unless it really is a blowout, will you see a move made for a flag before the 10-minute mark. But for every full minute under 20 you can hang your opponent's flag, you get 10 bonus points.
Doug Massey, again, deep in his territory, but remember, John, Rage does have front line capability close to the center line. They have the better angles on the Nobodies.
A pretty strong wind coming from the back of Nobody's. You can see the far tape flying in the wind there, and the paintball splattering against the bunkers Rage members are behind. What that means is that Todd Adamson, walking here in his own defensive area, still has to look out because you get great range with the wind at your back. You can hear the shouts of each team. Communication is absolutely important in this game. You have to know where your teammates are and where your opponents are.
And here comes the judge, chronographing Doug Massey, keeping the game safe.
Still no score. The 1996 World Paintball Championships are brought to you by Paintball Sports Magazine. From pickup games to tournaments, novice players and champions alike read Paintball Sports Magazine. We've got action in Game 5 of the first round of the World Paintball Championships here in Orlando, Florida. Hello, everybody. I'm John Nicholson, along with Jerry Braun, managing editor of Paintball Sports Magazine. Jerry, we've got an entire team of nobodies in this one. The nobodies out of Georgia against the Rage from Florida, most of them from Tampa Bay. Seed 8 versus Seed 5.
You've got that. The nobodies are anything but. They are a strong, strong team and have proved that in tournaments around this country. However, they're facing one of the 5 top teams in the United States in Rage, and it ought to be an exciting game, but the nobodies have their work cut out for them.
Now, Jerry, when you get hit with a paintball, it can really sting, so safety is very important. Talk about that.
It can sting, but we don't want it to injure. So what we do is we use the mask and goggle systems to protect the eyes, the ears, and the face. And wearing this system really makes this game safe. So safe, in fact, that insurance companies will allow children as young as 12 years old to play open class games.
And the safety ensures we can get plenty of action. Let's get back to that action now out on the field with the nobodies against the Rage. As we take a look at the Rage's Mike Fox behind that bunker, still no score in this contest. 12 teams began this tournament. 6 will advance to the second round. There, the points you score are added to the points you score in the first round. The top 3 teams then go to the round-robin final. Out of that last round, the top scorer wins it all. Now, it's important to hang the flag, and here's why. The first 2 winners in this tournament, the Heat and Turtles, each were able to do that. The Heat got 140 points, the Turtles 120. The second 2 winners, the All-Americans and Avalanche, were not, so they have only 24 points for the All-Americans, 20 for the Avalanche. Since it's a total of the first 2 rounds in terms of points, the All-Americans and Avalanche are in a tough situation. There's the 5-minute horn. Still no score as we look at ultimate judge Bob Rose. Let's check the positions, Jerry.
The nobodies are in a strictly defensive position. Most of their players on one line, stretching from tape to tape. Contrast that with Rage. Rage has good frontline position, good angles. Their defense is layered. They're the team that can make it happen as it stands right now.
We're looking at nobodies. Ronnie Kilborn squeegeeing out his marker, making sure it's in good working order. Before the game began, Fred Schultz had a chance to talk to somebody who knows a great deal about markers. Let's find out more now as we go to Fred.
I'm here right now with Dennis Tipman Jr., and he has his new marker out right here, which is something that is totally new.
Revolutionary.
Definitely. Most markers are either semi-automatic or they do have automatics, but this is the first one out there that has either or. You can see the lever over here means your safety's on. Move it up 1 click, you're a semi-auto, meaning 1 trigger pull, 1 shot. Bring it over to full, makes it a full automatic. You pull the trigger, it just keeps firing till you let off. So what do you say we put our goggles on, Denny, and give this thing a try, buddy?
Let's do it.
All right, you got it. All right, we're going to start here right now with the semi-auto. 1 shot, 1 hit. Beautiful pattern. Now we're going to go to full auto. As you can see, being in front of that, you are going to get painted.
Now that won't happen in this tournament. Only semi-automatic markers are allowed, so you've got to pull the trigger once for each paintball you want to release as we look across midfield into the nobodies defensive position.
Danny Venura on the far tape line for Rage. Good angle, communicating, talking to his teammates.
And the official checking for paint. There is Michael Fox, not by the way Michael J. Fox, Michael Fox for Rage. Here's how this field is set up, by the way. It is 500 feet long end to end, 200 feet wide. The striped bunkers indicate you're in the front quarter of your area, the blue area there with the white stripes. The solid bunkers would be the back part, the rear quarter of your area. So we're looking now at the front quarter of the Rage's end with the red and white stripes. A game of angles. So far, nobody's gotten one.
And John, just look at how far the nobody's line is from the center line of the field. And contrast that with how far up some of these Rage players are. That's important.
Hand on the left side of his bunker. Chip, look down and take hand on the left side of that front bunker. I think he's got sweet spot 2B.
Michael Fox hollering sweet spot 2B, wanting the Rage to home in as we're watching nobody's homing in on the far tape against Rage, Jerry.
Yeah, Danny Benura is taking an awful lot of heat, but that's the whole idea of those signals. Find a target, get 2 or 3 markers on that target from different angles, and eliminate that player. Create gaps in your opponent's line.
As we get closer to the 10-minute mark when everybody's allowed to cross the midfield line, we still have no score. Some more squeegeeing action now on the nobody's side. You again want to make sure that your marker is in good shape when the time comes as we look at the forward wall of nobodies.
And that forward wall, I have to keep re-emphasizing the point, is way, way back. It's at least 90 feet from the center line.
A check for paint, and he is clean.
Alberto Carvajal just made a move, just got hit. Judges are on him. He's out of there.
There is the first score, 4-0, nobody's lead, and we will be right back.
Boy, things are pretty hot and heavy out there right now, man. That was a great move you made going up there. Did you get hit sliding in or as you were coming up?
As soon as I put in, I got hit right here.
Oh, you got hit in the arm coming up
right
there, huh?
Right here, as soon as I came up.
Richmond Italia taking a lot of heat from the nobodies. Game of angles, and Rage has them.
You can see the paintballs just bouncing all around Richmond. We still have a score now of nobody's 4, Rage nothing, as we're getting near the 10-minute mark. Michael Fox hunkered down there. Dennis Black on the opposite side, peering around that double bunker for nobodies. Look at all the paint on that bunker, Jerry.
Yeah, John, but Rage still has the positional advantage. Even though the nobodies are up by 1 player, I still think the edge in this game goes to Rage.
There is the 10-minute mark as we look at the Michael Jordan of paintball. Todd Adamson, look at that tongue working there.
Zone 1, zone 2.
And we take a look at Andy Langley being checked for paint by Bob Rose, the ultimate judge. Bob finds him clean. Andy looks for an angle. And Dennis Black for nobody's leaning around, the reclining posture there.
He's making himself as small as he can.
As is Ronnie Kilborn. He's looking back now, communicating with his fellow nobodies. Across the field, 1 man up for Rage, another just moving there on the right side of your screen.
He's sweet spotting you, watch out! He's right on you, he's right on you! Look in that side, he's right on 2, he's right on 2! He's right on 2, right over, right over!
Pete Bofield barking instructions to his Rage teammates.
Pete is a great field general. He sees who's taking heat. He sees where you can give it.
Rage applying heat, and now across the field, nobody's captain Nathan Greenman has been eliminated. That ties the score at 4-4. Our Fred Schultz on the sideline to greet him.
Boy, that's a hot and heavy game going on there,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Everybody's long ball, and the wind is really a big factor. It's really hard to get any accurate shots in. You have to do is multiple guns on one location to hope for a ball to fall in.
So what you're basically saying is you guys like take 2, 3 of your guys and center on one of theirs.
Exactly. Multiple guns on the same target, especially when it's really windy like this. You really have to do that because it's very hard to get an accurate shot with this kind of a wind.
You know, you guys are tied right now.
Pete Beaufil, he's been calling the signals for Rage.
See it out? See the ref laying down?
Right there, Lawson. See where he's at?
Right there.
What? All right, let's go, let's go.
Go, go, says Pete, and he's going himself toward the right tape. Not quite all the way over there. You can see Rage has a man up on the tape as Pete keeps firing.
And look at how well Rage is spread across the field. They've got the angles on the nobodies. They're all over their area and pushing toward the center.
At this point, you can't tell the advantage by the score, which is tied, but it looks as if the Rage indeed does have that advantage, as you say, Jerry.
And look at Ron Kilborn taking heat. He's kind of more likely to pull himself back into the bunker or sneak a peek out.
Speaking of heat, Tom Sawatsky has taken some paintballs. He is going to be out of there now, and that gives the Rage the lead at 8-4.
Now it's not only a positional advantage, John, it's a numerical advantage.
How soon will we see a move? You would think fairly soon, as we've said before. You want to hang as soon as you can.
41, Foxy.
Calling out the score to Mike Fox. Two of them down, one of us. 21, 8-4 in favor of the Rage. On the sidelines, here's Fred with Tom Sawatsky.
That, you were way in the back. They must have got a long ball.
Yeah, I figured because the wind was blowing there, you know, against him.
Right.
He just a long one. I seen it coming too, right here.
Now you got it right on the hopper.
Yeah, right on the hopper.
And the paintball's fired up against that bunker there. You can see the nobodies hunkered in on their end. Time winding down in this contest, although not on the timer of Dennis Black. Apparently he forgot to start his clock or it just isn't working.
And look at how far back the nobodies are, contrasted with the forward position of Rage.
Todd Adamson conferring with his teammates. They're passing paint across the line, the Rage are. You got to think they're getting ready for a move. They want to get a hang. There goes Todd forward.
They're going to move deliberately. They have the... There they go.
To the sides. And then moving up from behind where the two previous players were. There's another nobody's player out of there. That's Sean Ellis. That makes the score 12-4 as he plugs his marker.
And there's another nobody out, John.
And that's number 88, Chip Sanford, making it 16-4 in favor of Rage. Rage moving now. And Larry Whitaker takes a hit. We'll be back.
Rage is a top paintball team. They move several players at once. They move both laterally and forward. They're getting their players into position to get the angles. Let's watch. That's their first move. They're going to continue, though. They're going to continue to press forward, again, moving several players at once. Let's watch this. Now you can see they're way up in the front. They've got significant firepower toward the far tape line, and they're going to use it.
And they've lost a player in that move, number 50, Lazaro Fernandez out of there. And now a flag is thrown. Two players are going to be out of there, Todd Adamson, and the officials also tossing Michael Fox. Apparently Todd continued when he shouldn't have. Oh, you know what, breaking loose on the field now as Todd exits and Michael Fox exits. Meantime, two more nobodies are out, and there is another nobody gone. Pete Beaufil moving up. Plenty of paint being thrown.
There's Danny Benura on the far tape. He gets hit, but Rage is unstoppable now.
He wants to argue about it. Exactly, Jerry. You're not going to win that one. Rage leads 32-24. There goes Pete Beaufil. He is hit, apparently. Now, here comes Paolo Balzano grabbing the flag. On the other side of the field, the last two nobodies, Chris Gentry, Dennis Black, are out of there. So it is a question of how fast can Rage get the flag back to the other end and hang it for the additional points. The handoff.
Doug
Massey, the big man, will try to get it down there. Remember, every full minute under 20, you get that flag hung, is an additional 10 points. Here he comes. And he is there. And Doug Massey is spent. They'll check him for paint, but Rage has got the win and the hang. Let's see how they did it, Jerry.
Rage was moving on all fronts. Tape lines in the middle. There was a big gap in the center for the nobodies. You can see them moving in, very coordinated. Danny Benura gets it on the far tape line, but it's an overwhelming move by Rage. They are just taking the nobodies out one after the other.
And they're willing to give a couple of men in the process because they have them to spare, Jerry.
And you see that right here.
Rage gets it done with over 3 minutes left, so that's 30 bonus points, a total of 130. And we go to Fred Schultz with somebody pretty excited.
All right, I'm here right now with Rick Fernandez, one of the spectators out here. How you doing, Rick?
Great.
Yeah, you look like you're enjoying this.
What a blast. This is unbelievable.
What do you think of the way the course is set up and the way the teams and everything are going out there?
This is unbelievable. I've never seen something set up this perfectly done. I mean, it's the way you can see the game happening from the sideline, just like you want to get in that game, and it's the excitement gets right into you. You know, you just want to go in there and pump.
Do you play paintball?
I've tried it, yeah.
You tried it?
Yeah.
What did you think of it when you tried it?
My heart pumped so fast that I thought there was no other adrenaline rush in my life that I felt like this before.
Wait, to the people out there that have never tried this, would you suggest going out and giving it a try?
You have to try it. It's just, you got to do it. It's something that you're missing out in life if you don't do this.
Rage not missing out on a thing. They have got the victory over nobodies. As the officials check for paint to make sure they have a proper count as to who is in and who is gone at the end of the game. Points crucial, as we've said before, because this win and your second round total counts to see who gets to the finals. When we come back, we'll find out more about that 1-for-1 call against the Rage and see what that was all about.
Who's on deck? What? Who's on deck?
What team are you? Rage! What team are you? Rage! What team are you? Rage! That's it! Yeah! Yeah!
What was the controversy on it?
I'll say the controversy was that right there. I got shot. He called, one judge ran from their side with two judges on each side of me. Ran and said, "You're gone, you're gone." I stopped. I looked at my two referees. They looked at their ref and they went, they go, "Don't argue with him, he's the head man." I said, "Well, whatever."
There wasn't a penalty on that, was there?
Yeah, they pulled one of my other players.
So they did throw a penalty on that,
yeah.
huh?
And then I got shot while I'm standing there in the leg.
Well, it looks like
I'm going, "What are you talking about?" Wham, I get shot. So
looks like you got it.
No big deal.
The 1996 World Paintball Championships have been brought to you by Westgate Resort. Over 1,000 suites in the Orlando area, minutes away from all area attractions. And by Paintball Sports Magazine, game sites, stores, equipment, special events, the first and last word in paintball all over the world. Rage racks up 130 points for the nobodies, 28. Only the Houston Heat has more going into the second round. Our next game, the final one of the first round. It's the Palm Beach Predators out of Florida against Bad Company from Maryland. One of those will complete the field heading in the direction of this trophy at the World Paintball Championships. For Fred Schultz and Jerry Braun, I'm John Nicholson. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.